So we're going to talk about the ring that in the case of the energetics of it, which that has certain bioenergetic signature in itself. The ring in this case we have we have two types. We have a gold coated and silver coated. In the case of the gold one we have white brass inside, and white brass is made of silver thing and copper, and then in the outside is gold, so that already bring the conjugation of 4 different metals in one object, which really brings some energetics into it. Then we have the magnets, in which in this case they are not performing the function of actually attracting, they are in same polarity, so they repel each other, and that is one of the simplest ways to create a scalar wave.
So this like these pieces before the cast, before the join it, and then I clean by hand with the sandpaper. Sandpaper I take 3 times for the level sandpaper. First 100, second 230, and then in the end 400, and that's make really safe and then really clean of them for inside too. So, yeah.
We really bring a lot of complexity into the interior design in terms of the design aspect. There are magnets. They are pretty much describing a cross. There's the number 4 in there, which add a little bit more of the different combination of numbers that we have in there. Those 2 rings, they really perform the function of allowing the object to close itself.
So the inside of the Geo, the art direction that me and Plan were going for was the idea of sacred symbology, fractality, and stepping down of ratios into larger and smaller rhythms, which is beyond culture, it's beyond time.
We have lots of design features, if you can see in there, in the interior. I mean, there is a lots of geometry and really a conjugation of many different types of geometries and patterns and different shapes that from the energetic point of view really is creating a very complex form of different shapes and different energies that are into one design. Then we can talk about the lens. Here we have the Sirijantra. When we really put these 2 lenses together, we have this, and with the ring we have that particular shape, which geometrically is coming from what's called the Vesica Pistis, but it will be a 3-dimensional Vesica Pistis. So the shape itself is the place where 2 spheres encounter, and the center point of each one of them meets the area of the exterior of the sphere. So when they subtract in between them, they create that particular shape. We have add a geometry in there, which is the Sirijantra, which is known in the Vedic culture as a very powerful symbol that it really have a very particular energetics into it. If we actually analyze the geometry, there is a lot of fractality embedded into that geometry. When we create the object, that is a negative space that after we fill with different stone powders like moonstone and limestone and amethyst. We have some examples of Sirijantra geometry used in energetic experiments, like in the desert of Nevada. They perform an experiment where they create a huge Sri Jantra made of paramagnetic stone, just driving the lines. And what they cause with this is like the rain will start to come to the area, the life energy will be enhanced and really start to be attracted to this space. So biomass and more living forms will start to actually appear into this area. So that's some of the examples of how a geometry can affect and can create energy fields, and that's one of the particular cases we actually choose to use the Sri Jantra in particular. A tensor ring is known to create the so-called tensor field. If you go into a camera Kirlian and you actually take a photograph of that ring, you will see that there is a field around it. There is some other examples of how you actually can understand the effects of such a ring when you expose water to it. Like if you take 2 glasses of water, you fill them with the same exact amount of water, and then in one of them you place the tensor ring. The tensor ring will energize and will enhance the structure of the water till the point that the water actually will weigh less and is replicable. You can actually take the same measurement and really understand that what the rain is actually doing is making the water more monatomic. So the clusters of molecules of water, they will become smaller, and then they will be more energized, so they actually weigh less. And this is one of the effects that a tensor ring can cause into water, and we can imagine what actually could do within our bodies. It's also well known the healing effects that they have by different testimonies of different people that really confirm that these things are really doing something. And yeah, it is a very simple thing, and it's probably one of the simplest ways to create a form of energy, an energy field that has a very interesting healing properties and other effects. So the ring is dimensions of it, the proportions are very important. They are made using the cubit, which is the unity of measurement that was used to build the Pyramid of Giza. So when you take the cubit and then you subdivide it by octaves, so you can find measurements in which you always keep scaling in octaves the same frequency. So we took that measurement and we create the ring, and it's pretty much a very simple form of a coil or a selfica, as well as they use in Dharmahood. Then it's kind of coming back into itself, and then we weld it. The twist of the ring is very important, must be like clockwise, and then when it comes back exactly to the same place.
So in the heart of the Chio is the frequency generator, and the frequency generator is not just sending out a sweep of frequencies. A lot of sweep generators just put out a random sweep of frequencies, but this one was designed to specifically just touch on the bio-friendly frequencies. The frequencies like from the Earth, for example, the Schumann resonance frequency is one of the frequencies. We have about 9 different frequencies that it goes through. And we've added a little speaker here so you can actually hear that. So it's going through several different methods. It's coming out through the light, through the LED, through the speaker and the sound, and also through the scalar coil. And you can actually hear it going through the frequencies when it's turned on. It kind of goes tick, 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 zip, tick, 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 zip, and it's zipping through the different bio-friendly frequencies. Like for example, lightning. When lightning goes off, you get a burst of certain frequencies, and we've replicated some of these types of earth-friendly and bio-friendly frequencies in the Chi Organizer. It has a USB port on it, and that's for recharging the battery. There's a lithium rechargeable battery inside, and it'll run for about 3 to 6 months depending on different factors. But if you charge it up, just plug it into your computer or plugging it into your USB charger, it will charge up in about 4 to 6 hours and run again for about 3 to 6 months.
So maybe we're gonna go into the orgonite component of the CHIO. The orgonite, just to talk about what it initially was, the term orgonite comes from William Reich, which he discovered what's known by orgone energy. So he discovered that when we actually ledger different materials, in this particular case he was using metal and an organic medium. It could be wood or it could be resin. So when you ledger them into different membranes, it's almost like a fractal form of capacitor that is able. This type of system is able to store life energy. After it was discovered that when you actually create a sort of a matrix, when you embed an organic medium and then you add into it metal powders, then you actually creating a very just pretty much the same effect of what the original orgone accumulator discovered by William Reich was actually doing. So what we done is we took that concept and then we combined this idea with part of the Balinese culture, in which they actually use what's known by Panchadhatu, which is the metal of the good energy, which contains the 5 metals. It contains gold, silver, copper, brass, and bronze. So then we are creating an orgonite in which we are using the metallic component of the orgone accumulators, but we are creating this with 5 metals rather than just iron. We believe that doing this we create a very interesting energetics to it. If we know a little bit more about what the Panchadhatu actually is, we know that, for example, in this temple in behind here, every time Balinese priests create a temple, they actually put in the foundation of the structure this particular combination of metals. This is a way to initiate that vortex of what is actually to create a sacred space.
The blessing in the Bali, in the small temple, in the small ceremonial, I need to for the blessing it is 6 times, and for first ceremony with the empty hand, and also with the flower clean, and also we need fire, flower, and also water before the blessing. So in the end, start the blessing. We need empty hand, and the first one, and the second time with the yellow color for blessing for the sun, God the sun, and then the number 3 for red colors for the where we blessing, where we place the blessing, and then the number 4 is mixed color. The 4 is mixed for everything, for all the God, for anywhere. So and the 5 is empty again. So yeah, for the blessing. So in the end, and after blessing, we get the water for in Bali. So in the temple too, the rice also. Yeah.
And what does that mean for the CHIOs? What does it do to the CHIO?
To the CHIO, because this component CHIO inside with Panchadhatu, like in Bali for energy, because used for metal. People in Bali also they use for the before they make temple, they put inside of the Panchadhatu. This is 5 metal. So for now we use for the CHIO for energy, to like same energy like in Bali too. Yeah, for this temple. Yeah, this meaning. So.
Next, we'd like to talk a little bit about the crystals and stone powders that we've put inside the orgonite and inside of the Chiyo as well. We have, for example, the rose quartz, which is the stone that is known for love and peace in the heart chakra. Here, we have the ruby. The ruby is an excellent stone for energizing, stimulating, and in balancing the heart chakra as well. Here we have quartz. Quartz is known to have a spiral crystalline molecular structure which absorbs and stores and also amplifies energy. It is known to be one of the master healing stones. Here we have moldavite. Moldavite is a meteor, and it is known to have the properties to fuse the energies of the earth with the cosmos. It was used as an amulet of fertility. It functions to increase the vibrations of other crystals from the earth as well. This is moonstone, which we crush and put inside of the Sri Yantra symbol. It is known to have a calming emotional effect. It is also known to be the stone of intuition. Here we have sapphirite, which has a very cosmic energy, a little bit like moldavite. Amethyst is a natural tranquilizer. It helps with geopathic blocks of energy and has very interesting healing and cleansing properties. It is also the stone of vision. Tourmaline is a very electric stone and has a very interesting electric field around it. It is very powerful. Sometimes it is used as a crushed powder and mixed with a gelatin and will produce negative ions, which we know are very good for health. The last element that we've introduced into the Chiyo is the Agnihorta ash. The Agnihorta ash comes from the fire ceremony and is originally from the Hindu culture. This fire ceremony is known to have a very powerful effect on the environment by aligning the soul and creating a very balancing effect on the person who performs the Agnihorta ritual. One of the amazing properties of the ash, and also of the ceremony, is that it is able to reduce and almost completely neutralize radioactivity. One of the effects of this mixture of different stones happens in the orgonite, in which we are creating a very rich, inclusive energy field. The material that we have created here, the orgonite, is in the vicinity of the scalar wave antenna, and this is broadcasting this very inclusive energy field around the proximity of the Chiyo and the Chiyo user. The symbols on the back of the Chiyo are taken from the Enochian language, which is often referred to as the language of angels. We've chosen a few words to put on the back of the Chiyo. This symbol is for love, this symbol for the perfect marriage within, the inner alchemy. This is for wisdom, and this one is for light. Inside of the Chiyo, we also are using some programmed holograms. And holograms have an interesting capacity to them because we can store information inside of the hologram. And this is done through a radionic principle by imprinting informational fields or IDFs into the hologram. The holograms are programmed to protect from EMF radiation, for example, and negative energies, and we have several different, we won't call them frequencies, but informational fields programmed into each hologram. And inside of the unit there are two different holograms that are supporting the radionic functions of the Chiyo. In this study, we allowed fruit to stand for 12 days. The holograms were programmed to keep the fruit fresh and vital, and you can see the difference between the two pieces of fruit where the holograms were applied and the one piece of fruit on the right where no hologram was used. The informational fields in the holograms protected the fruit and gave them more vital energy.